Adam Walsh Child Protection and Safety Act of 2006. Introduction. Adam Walsh Child Protection and Safety Act of 2006 is a federal statute that was enacted by the Senate and House of Representatives of the United States of America in Congress. The act is aimed at protecting children from sexual exploitation and violent crime, preventing child abuse and child pornography, promoting internet safety, and honoring the memory of Adam Walsh and other child crime victims. This is the amendment to the previous law directed at protecting children from crimes. One of the main peculiarities of this act is that it initiates the creation of a sex offender registry available for public consideration. The act also organizes sex offenders into 3 tiers, from the most serious tier when an offender must update his location every 3 months during the whole life to the less severe with a 1-year update of location for 15 years. Legislative-initiated policy. Adam Walsh Child Protection and Safety Act of 2006 is a legislative-initiated policy as it is created by the U.S. Congress and is aimed at controlling crimes and punishing those who deserve it. The act was initiated by John and Reve Walsh, who became the protectors of children from sexual abuse after their son Adam was abducted and murdered at the age of 6. Adam's parents pushed the problem to public consideration and as a result, made the U.S. Congress develop an act which punished sex offenders with more severity. Constitutional issue in the act. Those who fail to follow the Adam Walsh Child Protection and Safety Act of 2006, to register offenders and violate other issues are subjected to the law. The rule of construction in the title of state constitutionality states that the provisions of this title that are cast as directions to jurisdictions or their officials constitute, in relation to states, only conditions required to avoid the reduction of federal funding under this section. However, many district courts disagree with the amendment of the Bail Reform Act of 1984, the basis for the current act, referring to the fact that even minor misconduct connected with children, without sexual intention, requires this person to be registered as a sex offender. This issue is considered unconstitutional and in need of being revised and corrected. The effect of the act on the community, the accused, and the victims. The impact of the Adam Walsh Child Protection and Safety Act of 2006 on the community, the accused, and the victims is great. However, it is impossible to say that all the aspects of the act are that great. Considering the impact on society, there are no negative or doubtful issues. According to the Sex Offender Registration and Notification Act of the Adam Walsh Child Protection and Safety Act of 2006, all sexual offenders must be registered for public consideration. Each citizen has an opportunity to check this register for all states and get to know the latest updates. People feel safe when they know the source of predicted danger and have an opportunity to protect themselves. Victims can also be protected and get to know about the activities of their offenders. Society experiences security when it is informed about possible danger. However, there is a reverse side to this situation. First of all, it should be stated that in our society children are treated absolutely differently, especially in relation to working, alcohol consumption, voting, etc. Why should they be treated the same way in relation to sexual performance? Secondly, the inclusion of adolescents into this law contradicts historical philosophies regarding the treatment of juvenile offenders. Therefore, what should be done with public opinion? How can societal attitudes to minor offenders, especially those which did not have any sexual underlying reason, change the lives of adolescents? Adam Walsh Child Protection and Safety Act of 2006 does not answer this question and does not offer any reasons for how children should live with this burden further. The debate between legislative creators and mental health providers continues. Juvenile offenders have always been directed at rehabilitative procedures. The possibility to help adolescents is ruined by their listing in the Sexual Offenders Register. Paying attention to the accused, it should be mentioned that each case should be considered separately. Thus, there are many cases when the act harmed the children it aims to protect. Here are some specific situations which may shed light on the problem. A mother of a 4-year-old daughter and a 13-year-old son appeared in a complicated situation, where she had to choose between her parental love and obedience to the judicial system. The daughter of this woman told her mother that her brother had her perform what the mother later determined to be oral sex on him. After communicating with her son, she found out that a boy saw a picture on the internet and experimented with his system. Being scared, the mother took a boy to a psychiatrist for counseling who, in his turn, appealed to authorities. The result of such a boy's curiosity is a registration as a sex offender, each year updating of the current location for 15 years, school, and future employee notification. What was once a normal boy who was just curious, will be forever seen in society's eyes, and in his eyes, as a sex offender. Conclusion: Pros and cons of the Adam Walsh Child Protection and Safety Act of 2006. Thus, it may be concluded that there is no firm opinion in relation to the Act. On the one hand, it hardens the punishment for sexual offenders of children, but on the other hand, it does not give an opportunity for juvenile offenders to rehabilitate and continue their normal existence. Most people are unable to understand the difference between Tiers 1 and Tiers 3 and threaten those similarly, which leads to misunderstanding and improper attitudes to those who might not even have any sexual motive. Many districts appeal with the request to reconsider the Act and insert changes in the relation to juveniles. They should not be listed in the register along with adult sexual criminals who perform their actions consciously.